Hey everybody, my name is Kyle Lingg from RBC Wealth Management. I want to welcome you to the More York moment of the week. Today I kind of want to talk about the differences between Roth IRAs and traditional IRAs. First question is, does everybody understand the difference between the two?
No, we don't.
So a traditional IRA and a traditional 401k, those are based off of pre-tax contributions. So if you take your paycheck, for example, when you do a traditional, you're taking the contribution before any of your normal taxes are taken out of your check, and it goes into your 401k. On the Roth side, it is the opposite. The taxes come out first, and then your contribution goes in. So when you're looking at taking money for retirement, the traditional side, you are going to pay taxes on everything when the money comes out because you haven't paid any taxes on that money yet. The Roth side, as long as you are over 59 and a half, when you take money out of the Roth, everything is tax-free. The earnings, the contributions that you put in, all of it's tax-free because you already paid tax on that money. There is also another kind of weird stipulation in there that you have to have the account open for 5 or more years. If you don't, then you are subject to income tax and 10% penalty on the money coming out that was not your contribution, so on earnings in there. So those are the main differences between the two. So I kind of wanted to dive into the Roth IRA side of things, just to kind of give a little bit of a high-level overview on that stuff. So, like I had mentioned, it's tax-free money when you retire, as long as you take the money after 59 and a half, and you have the account open for 5 years. So one thing that a lot of people don't know, and can actually hurt them when it comes to retirement age, is if you have a Roth 401k, you also have to have a Roth IRA that is open 5 years before you put the money into it. So it has to be funded for 5 years before you're able to take the money. That eliminates that 5-year window. So, for example, if you are age 60 and you decide to retire and you have Roth in your 401k and you're going to roll it out of the plan into a new Roth IRA, not having one ever before, you can't take money out of it until you're 65 because of that 5-year window. So having one open as early as possible, even if it's funded with a small amount, it gets that 5-year clock ticking, so you're covered when it comes to the time to retire to move the money into it. With the 401k side of things, if you have a Roth 401k and your company matches, the company match is always pre-tax money. It never can come into your account as Roth money. So if you go to retire and you want to roll your account out, you are going to actually have to have 2 different IRAs. You're going to have a Roth IRA for the Roth side, and you're going to have a traditional for the pre-tax side. How those kind of work into your retirement plans, that's something that obviously we can help with our lifestyle planning and all of the goals that you're looking for. So that's kind of the background on the 401k side of how you need to have those different pieces. One interesting fact with your Roth 401k is if you are over the age of 59 and a half and you're going to roll money into a brand new Roth IRA, the entire amount that is in your 401k actually is considered a qualified distribution. So the earnings in there, if you were under 59 and a half, you would have to pay taxes on the penalty on the earnings in that. But because you're over 59 and a half and you've had your Roth 401k for more than 5 years, all of that counts as a qualified distribution. So all of that then goes into your new Roth IRA. That is considered your basis for your Roth IRA, meaning that full amount is what you can take before 5 years, still tax-free. Any earnings on that, you would have to wait the 5-year window to be able to take that out tax-free. So I know I just kind of threw a whole lot of numbers and information at you. Does anybody have any questions on any of that stuff at this point?
Kyle, you used the term 401k Roth, and I give an additional definition when people are gonna hear the word 401k, they're gonna automatically think about their salary deferral on a pre-tax basis. To help people understand the true difference between the two and why it's important to have both.
Sure. So it's important to have both sides because we obviously don't really know what the tax laws are going to look like in the future. So having, at this point in time, if the tax laws and you're okay paying the taxes now, then it makes sense to do the Roth side because you're going to pay the taxes, and if it's a smaller percentage now, you're paying a lower percentage, and then that money is going to be tax-free when maybe in retirement taxes are going to be higher for you. Having the other side, you have that pre-tax deferral so that you're not paying taxes on your contribution, and then down the road, maybe you're making a lot of money at this current point, but down the road when you retire, you're not going to have as much income, so your taxes are going to be lower, so it's not going to hurt you to have to pay taxes at that point instead of now. So those are kind of the key components in how you work around those two differences in the contributions. Thinking about your paycheck, and a big question that's always asked is, how's it going to affect my take-home pay? The pre-tax is going to affect your take-home pay a little bit less than the Roth side. The reason being you're being taxed on less money at that point. So you're going to be taxed on a lower amount, so your check, if you're contributing 10% of, and it's $100, it's going to go down maybe $8 on your bring home. If you do the Roth side, you're going to pay the taxes first, and then $10 is going to come off of your pay, assuming that $100 paycheck. So that's always a huge question that gets asked about how it actually affects your bring home pay. So starting, and when you go with those, it's obviously something that is a comfort level. So if you're contributing, it's always important to contribute up to a match for your company because you're taking advantage of the free money that they're offering you. But it is, again, a comfort level, so if that is a little too high for you, you can always start a little bit lower, and most companies have a systematic increase of maybe 1% a year to assist you in getting you up to a higher percentage. Any other questions?
Is there a school of thought that once you are at retirement age, which you should draw on first, the Roth or your
It kind of
pre-tax
depends.
deferral?
It depends on the situations that you're in. Everybody's situation is going to be a little bit different and based off of your current tax rate. Some people in retirement, maybe they are receiving pensions or something like that, so they are still in that high tax bracket. So then maybe a Roth makes sense at first because with a traditional IRA, when you get to age 70 and a half, the government requires you to take a minimum distribution from that account every year. Because they are trying to make sure that you can get the money out so that there are taxes paid on that at some point, unfortunately. But if you're in that situation with a higher income tax now, maybe the Roth makes sense to take at this point because down the road you are going to be required then to take from your traditional. So you have the tax-free now and down the road. But it is definitely a situation-specific problem to walk through. Anything else? Cool. Well, that's all I have for you guys today. Hopefully it was a little bit informational for you, and we enjoy having you guys check in. Thanks for watching, Joe. We'll see you guys next time.